Hello, I'm Isaac with Medieval Collectibles, and I'm back to talk about some of my favorite things in the world, swords. Any true sword fan can tell you that flamberges, sometimes called flame-bladed swords, are one of the most popular and recognizable types of swords out there. You know the ones, the wavy blades that are typically seen on big Zweihanders. Well, believe it or not, they had prevalence among rapier designs too. Throughout the 16th to 17th centuries, Flamberge blades were forged to distinguish the swordsmith's skill and were a relatively expensive style for prestige and social status. Now, before I continue talking about this sword that I have in front of me, I've got to say that I've dipped my toes into something of a contentious debate about the question that gets asked about the Flamberge all the time. What was it useful for? In my experience as a fencer and a student of history, I think the Flamberge is not nearly as impactful to a real fight as people might think. Don't get me wrong, I love Flamberges, but the cosmetic change to the blade doesn't go much further than that. However, when you're in a bind, that moment when two swords are clashed together and competing for control, the wavy, oscillating blade can get away with quite a bit more movement than, say, a more traditional straightened blade. When the adrenaline is high, your mind is racing with on-the-fly tactics and you're trying to be as efficient in your movements as possible, you're not really preoccupied with something as small as, I don't know, blade vibrations. Usually, one of the last places you'd want to be in a bout is the bind. While I have not fenced a lot of rapier myself, I've studied it enough to confidently say that most rapier matches don't end in wide, sweeping cuts. They typically end with a single thrust in the right spot at the right time. However, counterpoint, the Flamberge looks pretty cool. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to talking about the Swept Hilt Flamberge Rapier from Topeka. Starting with the hilt, we have the iconic swept hilt guard for a touch of elegance and protection for your grip. It's made from steel and designed in such a way that gives you as much balance as possible while helping deflect attacks away from your hand. See these curved parts here? This is referred to as an S-guard and simultaneously protects your knuckles and your thumb. The handle gives you a nice one-handed grip like all true rapiers should, keeping mine nice and secure with leather wrapped in wire. At the bottom, this cylindrical steel pommel adds a nice counterbalance to the design and has a layered finial for added style. Let's move on to what you truly came here for, the high-carbon steel Flamberge-style blade. Here we have a long ricasso at the base, giving the blade a nice, safe buffer with the added benefit of stability. On closer inspection, you can see the blade has been forged with a medial ridge here in the center. Think of this as a strong spine for the blade that adds to its thrusting power. The tip is nice and rounded, making it great for safely practicing at home and sparring with the proper safety gear. Let's address the wooden scabbard wrapped with black leather. At the top, this piece is called the locket or the top mount, made of steel and built with a notch that perfectly matches the crossguard. At the bottom, we have the chape or the end mount. This is also made from steel and keeps the tip from poking through the bottom. Whether you're a lover of swords at heart like me, a fencing aficionado, or someone who plain loves rapiers, the Swept Hilt Flamberge Rapier is a great choice. You can check out this sword and all other kinds of Flamberges, rapiers, and more at medievalcollectibles.com. And before you go, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like these coming soon.